Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel Wolfson, the host and founder of Web3 Deep Dive Podcast. Web3 Deep Dive Podcast focuses on real-world Web3 use cases to help you better understand how Web3 is being applied today and how it may be leveraged in the future. If this sounds interesting, I encourage you to subscribe, like, and share the content that you're seeing today to help spread the word about Web3. The following episode was filmed during Rare Evo, a blockchain conference that took place in Denver during August of this year. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Web3 Deep Dive Podcast. I'm so excited because today I'm here in person at the Rare Evo event in Denver, and I'm going to be interviewing Margie Feng. She's the marketing manager at BITMAIN. So let's get started with the interview. Hi Margie, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you for joining me on the podcast today.
Thank you.
I know you've been so busy here at Rare Evo, so it means a lot to me that you took the time to come on the show.
Oh, thank you so much. It's my first time doing a podcast. I'm very excited.
Oh, wow. Well, I feel honored that you decided to join me. Margie, before we get started with our questions, could you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and your role at BITMAIN?
Sure. I am the marketing manager at BITMAIN. I mostly do marketing and PR. I go to different events, and I got into Web3 because I have always been very interested in blockchain. And while I was studying in the US, I covered some events, blockchain events in LA, and that's how I got interested in it. And when I got the job opportunity at BITMAIN, I just jumped right into it. Wow.
So how long have you been with BITMAIN?
For a year.
A year, okay.
Yeah. Before that, I was doing automotive PR and marketing.
Okay, right. Nice. Tell us a little bit about BITMAIN. I mean, I know BITMAIN because they're one of the most well-known producers of crypto mining machines in the entire world. But what is your definition of BITMAIN?
Okay, so BITMAIN is the world's leading manufacturer of crypto mining servers, and we produce a lot of mining servers covering mainstream POW tokens. Also we strive to develop and grow the POW ecosystem, and that's one thing that we do besides producing the mining servers.
Got it. So for our listeners, POW means proof of work, and that just means when you're mining for the Bitcoin using machines.
Right. Miners and we have different algorithms, and our machines can adapt to different algorithms for people to mine.
Got it.
Yeah, BTC, LTC, Doge, and that.
Got it. So with the machines made by BITMAIN,
yes,
you can mine different cryptocurrencies.
Right.
Now I know BITMAIN has a number of different machines. What are the most common ones that are used for mining?
There are so many because we cover mostly basically all the POW tokens. So one of the very popular one is L7. It is merge mining, so it mines both LTC and Doge. And so I think most people know that LTC just went through its halving, and it won't affect the number of Doge that the L7 will mine. So after the halving, the ratio changes, and you can get even more Doge. So it's a very good deal. So L7 is very popular, and the other very famous one is the S9. It has a very, very long product life cycle, so it's proven more than 6+ years. So that's a very famous one of us. I think if you're a miner or have been in the mining industry for a while, then you probably know S9. It's very famous, yes.
Right, yeah, I know the S9 because I guess that's the most common one.
Yeah, it's a very common one.
Are these machines expensive?
It really depends on the market price, and I wouldn't say it's super expensive. And we offer a lot of coupons during our activities. We do a lot of Twitter Spaces, and during those Twitter Spaces, we offer miner coupons. We offer a lot. So I don't think it's super expensive.
Okay. So my next question is, with the mining machines, because I know that there's a lot of miners, like companies that mine for crypto, that buy a lot of the machines in bulk, I'm assuming?
Yes.
But can individuals also buy one of the machines and just mine Bitcoin or any sort of crypto themselves? Is that common?
I think it is pretty common. Actually, have met a few people at this event telling me that they have bought ant miners and to mine at home. So that's pretty common as well. As long as you can afford the electricity, I guess, like the cost of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Are there any new machines coming out that we should know about that BITMAIN is working on?
Yeah, so we just introduced our KS3, and that's for mining the KAS POW token. And also we are promoting our Filecoin on-rack miners. If you know about Filecoin, then it's a kind of different mining method than the other POW tokens, and it is our first time to introduce the Filecoin miners, and also we are promoting hydro cooling miners because we're striving to going toward a greener mining ecosystem. We're trying to build the greener mining industry, so that's what we're doing right now, like hydro cooling.
Can we talk a little bit about hydro cooling? Because I think all of the different ways to mine for crypto, it's interesting. You know, there's wind power, there's different ways to do it that doesn't consume a lot of energy, but hydropower is pretty cool. Do you want to kind of tell us a little bit about what that involves with the machines that BITMAIN has?
Sure. So at BITMAIN, we do a hydro cooling tour every month. So we take our customers to different hydro cooling mining facilities worldwide. And we just went to Thailand. And that's how I got to know more about hydro cooling mining because I wasn't familiar with it. So according to like the CEO from the hydro cooling facility, it says that hydro cooling is very stable, and they use ant miners, hydro cooling miners as well. So they said it's very, very stable, and it has a very stable hash rate. It can function in different weather, different temperature. It's not affected by temperature, and it is very. I think the mining farm is very impressive, and the customers have very, very good feedback. And one of the things that impressed me the most is that the whole hydro cooling power plant, the plant is powered by solar power.
Wow!
And they have a huge solar power facility, and so the plant is powered by solar power. And the CEO said that it won't be affected if the power went out. So it's very stable. It mines all the time. It's very steady operations.
Yeah. So it's interesting because I was fortunate enough a few years ago, I toured the Riot facility, the Riot block, is it Riot blockchain? So their facility in Texas, right outside of Austin, and they had some hydro cooling machines as well. And it was really interesting to see that they were submerged in water.
Yes,
and I think
exactly.
Is it a chemical that's also in the water? I don't know if it's just like the machines are in the water.
The machine. So we use the water to cool the machines, and I think there are some the chemicals in it, but I cannot explain because I'm not that product oriented.
Yeah.
But I saw the facility. It's kind of like in the water, and it's used to cooled by the water.
Right. Yeah. So maybe we can put a picture up to show the listeners and the viewers what it actually looks like.
I will prepare the pictures.
Yeah, because it really, it's so interesting. And then Margie, I was just at a crypto mining facility in Wyoming a few days ago, out in the middle of nowhere. And there were a number of BITMAIN, probably the most common machines, the
S19 probably.
It could have been S19.
Yeah, it could be S19.
Okay.
Of different S19 series of different kinds.
It could have been that.
Yeah.
I get confused.
Me too.
But they were using those machines, but it was all wind powered, which was also
air cooling, probably.
Yeah.
Wind power. Wind power.
So the wind would come and cool the machines, and then the heat would, I think, leave the facility from the machines when the wind came in to cool the machines. Which was another interesting, environmentally friendly way to mine for crypto. I was told that the only repercussions of that mining method is that, the heat goes out of the facility, creating heat where it leaves the facility. But I was told that when it snows in Wyoming, the only repercussion is it kind of melts the snow near the facility when the heat leaves the mining machines, which is kind of nice because actually, if you think about it, when it's so cold outside and you need heat, that's actually a really great way to create heat. You could stand there and get warm, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very, very good example of how the cryptocurrency mining is kind of helping with helping the society or the industry to explore the use of green energies. I think that's a very good, because I've heard a lot of other examples of people using the heat coming from mining to for example, build like a greenhouse. And I think that's so impressive. I really want to visit one of them.
Me too.
Yeah. And also like the example of like solar energy. I think it's funny because I think when the CEO was saying that, I feel like he was like forced or pushed to explore a different way to power the plant because he wants the mining farm to operate stably. So he wants to explore a different way of using new energy or a more stable energy to power the plant. I think that's a great example of how cryptocurrency mining is helping with the green energy.
Right, and I think it's, cryptocurrency mining is very misunderstood because a lot of people think that it's bad for the environment, it takes energy, but in some places, Texas, it actually helps balance the grid in Texas when you mine for cryptocurrency. They've got excess power and it all helps balance it out.
Right.
So in some aspects, mining is actually really great. And I think that we just need more education to,
exactly.
to help people understand that, which is why I'm glad you're on the podcast.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yes.
My next question that I want to ask you about is, we saw kind of a shift in the mining industry recently where, maybe it was sparked by the collapse of FTX and Celsius and all of these things that have happened in the industry recently where miners were losing profit and they had to sell their machines at discounted rates. And I think that was beneficial for some miners because they bought those machines and put them in their facilities, right? But what's your take on that? Is the mining industry healthy? Is it growing? Or are we still at kind of this weird spot where people, may not be able to afford mining machines or want to mine?
I have to admit that because it's the bear market right now, and I have to admit that the demands are not as many as it were in the bull market. But it's funny because I wasn't here. I wasn't in BITMAIN when it was bull market. I just witnessed the bear market as soon as I went into the company. But as far as from my colleagues and I talked to my colleagues and boss, and they're like, oh yeah, the demands are not as great. But luckily we're still growing. I think we're doing fine. We're thinking about different marketing strategies to promote our miners. For example, as I said, we do a lot of Twitter Spaces, and we send out many coupons and miner coupons, and we want to. And I feel like we should see mining in the long term, because I talked to many people, and they told me that they prefer, in the bear market, they prefer to buy coins, like invest in coins instead of investing money. And I understand that because mining is very, costs a lot of money because you have to find the right location, you have to invest in the miners, in the facility, and the operations. But I feel like it is a good time right now to try it out. If you are not familiar with mining or you want to get prepared for the bull market, it is a very good opportunity right now to try to mine, or as you just said, people mine at their homes, right? If you can buy a miner to just try it out, I think it's a very good opportunity to prepare for the bull market. And for me, I want to do that too because it's not that expensive right now. Because I heard in the bull market, it's sometimes for popular miners, it is very hard to get a hold of them. So in the bear market, it's different.
So now is kind of a good time, and that's what I was wondering, because we saw miners at some point even sell their equipment, really good equipment, just because they were in debt and they needed to get out of debt for discounted rates. So with BITMAIN, I'm assuming you go online and you can buy a machine?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very simple.
Yeah. Okay, so it's probably a good time, like you said, to just buy a machine and start mining at home.
Right.
But how does that, because we've been talking about facilities with the hydro cooling and the wind. How would someone go about mining at home? I used to have I think it was called Coin Mine. It was a little machine that someone sent to me.
Oh.
And we plugged it in, me and my fiance, we plugged it in at his office, and we were mining Bitcoin. And I think at the end of the day, so the company ended up failing, unfortunately. And so I think we profited, a few $100s in Bitcoin, which is better than nothing, right?
Oh my gosh.
So they gave me a machine.
Impressive.
But how would it work with a BITMAIN machine that's probably a lot more professional to mine at home? Like, how does that work?
So you just mentioned hydro cooling. I don't think you can do that at home unless you have like a facility right there, right in front of your house. But for home mining, we do have, I think it works pretty the same. You can find the guide online, and it will guide through you like step by step. I think it's gonna be really simple because we gave out miners during Twitter Spaces sometimes.
Wow.
And
I'm going to join your Twitter Space next. I need a new miner.
Follow our Twitter. We really give it out. And we have pop quizzes during the Spaces, and we give out miners for the winners. And we follow up with their... so we kind of like go through the whole giving out process. They're like, oh, how is the miner? How did you do? And all of them are like, they're doing great. So it's very easy setup. It's just I think they told me like the electricity is fine. Actually, they didn't care too much about that. It's a free miner, and they can buy it at home. It's very simple setup. So but hydro cooling, I don't think it can work.
Right, yeah, or like the wind. I mean, obviously you need those facilities, which are very intense, by the way, when you go inside the facilities.
Because you need a container for hydro cooling.
Right, exactly. But yeah, I mean, the little machine that I had, we just literally plugged it in, and as long as it was on, it was mining Bitcoin. And when the price of Bitcoin was up, we obviously had more money. Versus when it was down, and it's just unfortunate that they're not around anymore. But I'd be interested in getting a BITMAIN machine. And, so I'm going to look into that because mining is a great way, I think, for beginners to learn about the Web3 industry in a very easy way. They don't have to go on an exchange and buy crypto. They literally have a machine, plug it in, and start mining.
It's very simple.
Yeah, right.
Right. Do you still have the coins that you?
Yeah, we transferred them off, put them in a wallet, and then what my fiance ended up doing, because he loves doing this, he took the machine and started breaking it apart to see if he could use any of the GPUs or something for other reasons.
Impressive.
Yeah, very impressive. And so I was telling him that I'm doing this interview with you, and he was very excited. I was like, well, you should have come to Rare Evo because you could have met the team, because BITMAIN is here.
Yay.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Wow.
And Margie, you were telling me, we had a whole conversation, actually, we could talk a little bit about that, about what the market is like in Asia versus the United States, because that was really interesting to me, just Web3 there versus US. But you also mentioned BITMAIN is having a big event. Is it in Hong Kong?
Oh, yes, it's in Hong Kong. It's called the World Digital Mining Summit. So we'll invite investors and like mining related companies to be in Hong Kong. And Hong Kong is such a great place for crypto right now. I don't even know, but it's amazing. I went to Hong Kong twice this year, and it's just crazy. Everywhere is crypto.
But I want to talk a little bit about more, just briefly about Web3 in Hong Kong you mentioned. I mean, are people, I don't know if you know, but are people using crypto for payments there on a regular basis, or what makes it kind of more Web3 friendly, I guess?
So I'm not sure if they can do it on a regular basis because I don't live there. But you can see the Bitcoin ATM machine on the street. The first time I saw it, I was like, wow, this is going crazy right now. And I went into there and I tried out. So it actually works. It's just very fun. Web3, and also I see a lot of decentralized apps, the Web3 like apps in Hong Kong. They're kind of growing. I went to I think 2 of their events and talked to their teams. They're super passionate. The teams are very, very young. And so from that, I can see like the future of Web3 in Hong Kong is coming. And also, if you look at the policies, and they're doing a lot of policies to open up for the crypto, I think that's very, very progressive. And people there are very passionate about crypto. They're kind of like ready to go. So that's why.
I was going to say the regulations in that environment within Hong Kong are probably a lot better than they are in the United States. At the moment, hopefully we'll get some regulatory clarity here.
Somehow I feel like in the US it's already pretty mature.
Yeah, I think we're mature, but I do think, like you said, Hong Kong sounds very innovative. I mean, I haven't been to Hong Kong in years. Hopefully I'll get to go again next month. But I just think that's really exciting to see that in different regions, people are very excited about Web3 blockchain cryptocurrency.
And also, not only in Hong Kong, in mainland China as well. I went to different events in mainland China for like POW gathering, and to my surprise, they're super knowledgeable and super passionate about Web3, and they go to like different events or the different gatherings, communities, and they share thoughts in the group chat, and it's very passionate. They're very passionate about it.
Awesome. So Margie, I hear some music coming on here at Rare Evo, and I don't want that to interfere with the interview. So I think we've had a great conversation so far. I'm just gonna kind of ask you before we wrap things up if you have any additional comments that you want to add, if the listeners want to get in touch with you or BITMAIN, or just anything you want to add before we say goodbye.
I'm very happy to be here, and it's very interesting because we are here and in such a Web3 oriented meeting, and people has been asking me, what is BITMAIN doing here? And I just feel like we're kind of Web3 mining. We're both in the same ecosystem because we're all built on blockchain, right? And I think it's our responsibility to know about each other at least, and to grow the ecosystem together. I think that's it's very fun to be here. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you're exactly right with that. I mean, I wanted you on the podcast today because mining is a part of Web3. It's all connected, and I think that people forget about that. They think about the projects and how people are using blockchain, but mining is, that's how we get cryptocurrency, and that's a huge element of Web3. Exactly. Right. Margie, if our audience wants to get in touch with you or BITMAIN, is there an email or Twitter that they can?
Yes. So yes, you can visit our Twitter. I think the Twitter handle for BITMAIN is BITMAIN Tech. And if you want to get in touch with me, I have a Twitter too. It's Margie Feng LOL. You can find me there.
Nice. Thank you so much, Margie.
Thank you. Very fun to be here.
Special thanks to Aaron Bender for producing Web3 Deep Dive podcast. I'd also like to thank the sponsors behind Web3 Deep Dive. Finally, thanks to the listeners for tuning in. Please be sure to subscribe, like, and share. I'll see you guys next time.